Can you speak up, please?
Yeah, I will. Motion, do you have a second? Second. Motion second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And when anybody's ready, accept the motion to approve the minutes of July 8th.
Accept the minutes presented.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Can you approve these two? Okay. We also have a special meeting for the work on Peterson Park. And anybody's ready, they can make a motion to accept the minutes. That would be from July 16th.
Accept the minutes presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Bills.
You'll note on the transactions that it's just the general, there's the ones with QuickBooks, I have to adjust my, QuickBooks report, so it will include the fire fund and the road fund, because they're separate checking accounts now. They're no longer included in the general, since we have them at a separate bank, so that's why the other totals are written, handwritten on there, on the back.
Oh, on the bottom, okay.
Okay, so the 43,000, that is out of, that's out of the general, and then the fire fund, we're making our second payment for the year, for the fire district, is out of that checking account, and then the road fund, those two invoices, the total 27,000.
If we have a motion to accept, or pay the bills as listed, accept that. Sure, go ahead, I'm looking for that, I didn't see
Well,
it.
if you can just move
Yeah. So, where is that?
it's for 3675, and it's about a quarter of a way down.
Oh, there we go, okay, there we go. So we did a impromptu repair on the Peterson Park well, because we wanted to, and probably wasn't, it wasn't according to policy. What it is we had the well there, we need it for the upcoming Jubilee, and there's only one person in our area that will work on stab wells. We found that when we were working on the cemeteries, and so we went ahead and did that. I did that without getting three quotes, kind of impromptu. We were in a hurry and stuff, so I shouldn't have done that, but we needed to get it done. So, maybe. And that's for $3,600 to repair the well. They put a new pump on it and some lines. And I was on vacation too at the time.
My only question about it is that we want to make sure that
Yep.
we have it, that we have it insulated. I just don't want it.
Yeah, Yeah, we don't want it to freeze again, yeah, yes.
So even though we spent the money to get it
Yeah.
fixed, we also need to look at making sure that we,
It's slated, and then, I would call, when I call Dean to winterize.
and we can
Coral
discuss
Park.
that later on, but that was
As well,
the one thing
yeah.
that I wanted to add to it, because that's a lot of money to have freeze and break.
Exactly, yep. So that's the explanation of that. Is there any other comments or questions? I would entertain a motion to pay the bills as presented.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Supervisor's report. Oh, yeah. We do that. You got it in different color. At this time, we'll have public comments on the agendas, on the items in the agenda. Now, these comments are so that you can inform us how you feel about the stuff that's on the agenda, okay? So please feel free to speak up.
I just have one question, it's not on the agenda. Coral Day is this Saturday, we'll have live music all day and kids soapbox derby. So we were hoping to get permission to get access to the garage on Saturday, to get the road barricades and the soapbox derby supplies.
No. Yeah, that'd be great.
I'll meet you in the parking lot.
Super cool. Okay, I didn't even know we were doing that.
Yep, and we have our insurance rider on the way, we'll get it in your email by the end of the week.
Cool. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good. Any other public comments? Any?
I'd just like to congratulate those of you that won in the primary.
Oh, thank you.
It's not on the agenda, but
Yeah. I certainly wasn't going to bring it up because I'm running, so. Any other public comments? Yes.
So I know it's on unfinished business, the Peterson Park, and we haven't been added to the formal public comment on agenda items yet. But we will start bringing forward a report from the Parks and Rec Committee, and we can do that today if you'd like. So just wanted to.
Fantastic.
Okay. Okay, we'll add that to the bunch of reports that we have. Any other comments? Thank you for participating. Supervisor's report. We got stuff going on the Peterson Park. We can see the dirt that's been moved in there. It's looking really good. We give credit to mostly Melissa and Megan. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Long day. It's looking good. It's looking good. They were supposed to start putting the equipment in this week, I believe. Oh, okay. The blight issue, we are still working through the steps on that. I don't like to talk about it too much except to say that we are moving forward. I've had a lot of conversations, and we've had a court date. And we have kind of an agreement coming up if it goes through. And that's all I've got to say about that. Unless you think I should say more about that. Yeah, in public. And that's what I have for a report. Except, we have several properties with the blight issue, and the difficulty with the court was addressed. with one of the properties, they didn't want to do anything, so we're gonna have to find another way to do that. But we are working on it.
Our ordinance is new, so it's just gonna take us some tweaking
Yeah.
to make sure we get all of the proper steps in place to
So it's-
keep moving forward on some of them.
So our lawyer's from Kent County, she knows how things function down there. The lawyer, the court up here is not quite the same. So some changes, some movements forward. Takes time. Treasury report.
All right, before I even start reading it, you'll notice that there is no interest posted for the majority of the CDs, and that's because this is for the month of July, and interest posts quarterly on them, so they'll be the same balance that they were, even though they are for me. The general fund checking account had a beginning balance of $78,761.26. It had debits of $60,094.84, credits of $41,194.04, with an ending balance of $59,860.46. It drew $2.84 in interest. The ARPA account had a beginning balance of $7,278.45. It had debits of $5,950. And it had credits of 19 cents with an ending balance of $1,328.64, so that was 19 cents in interest. We have the cemetery trust CD. They had a beginning and ending balance of $707.27. We have the general fund at, sorry, I'm tripping over myself here. We have a general fund CD at Community First. It had a beginning balance of $34,500.92, an ending balance of $34,829.12. So it gained $328.20 in interest for the month. We have a general fund CD at Community First with a beginning and ending balance of $205,403.59. So the interest was not posted on that one. We have a general fund CD at Community First with a beginning and ending balance of $202,843.36, so the interest is not shown posted on that one. We have a general fund savings account at Community First with a beginning balance of $10 and an ending balance of $10. We have a general fund money market account at Mercantile Bank. It had a beginning balance of $231,035.92. It had $100,000 in debits. It had $920.84 in credits, with an ending balance of $131,956.76. That had $920.84 in interest. We have the fire fund at Mercantile Bank. They had a beginning balance of $42,962.29. It had $25.50 in debits, $209.67 in credits, with an ending balance of $43,146.46. So it drew $209.67 in interest. We have the road fund at Mercantile Bank with a beginning balance of $83,729.06. It had $133,099.20 in debits and $100,478.01 in credits, with an ending balance of $51,107.84, and it drew $478.01 in interest. You'll see on the statement that I did put the loan from the general fund to the road fund of $100,000. We'll just let that sit there as a reminder until it gets paid back. The cemetery trust at Independent Bank has a savings account with a balance of $9,762.16. We have a CD cemetery trust at Independent Bank with a balance of $4,373.89. We have a CD at Independent Bank for the cemetery trust of $4,564.36. We have the tax checking account at Mercantile Bank, which had a beginning balance of $223.01, a debit of $45, and a credit of 5 cents, with an ending balance of $178.06. It had 5 cents in interest. We have the tax money market account at Mercantile Bank, which had a beginning balance of $17.19. It had $10.20 in debits, $104,426.15 in credits, with an ending balance of $104,433.14 through $120.18 in interest. We have the general fund CD at Mercantile Bank that had a beginning balance of $111,181.83. It had $552.19 in credit, so an ending balance of $111,734.02. So it drew $552.19 in interest. So we gained $2,612.17 in posted interest for the month. We had July rental fees collected of $500. Any questions?
How many more payments do we have going to the fire?
For the,
Or there's,
Is this the last one?
we make two, you get,
Okay.
you get a bill in the.
I just wondered, because we got 43 in there and we've got 37 coming out.
Yeah, that's it for
Okay,
this year, that's
cool.
it. Yeah, so then we get another one.
yeah, so we left a little bit of cushion.
Well, yeah, I was wondering, because if we had to do the same thing, if we did do the,
With the fire.
No, because I think fire is kind of.
it comes after.
It comes after, so it's
Okay.
after we've already provided the
Much
tax,
handier.
as far as that goes. But, I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
Okay, motion support, any more questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Miranda. Efficient. Once again. Clerk's report?
Well, I want to thank all of my election workers because we survived election day. We did dual poll books, which was new for us. So that was, we had two computers that were talking to each other, so that was a new dynamic that we worked with. We had a total of 470 voters. That was 246 of them were in person that voted in the August primary. I mailed out 277 absentee ballots, and 224 of them were returned. We did have one overseas ballot that I had sent out on July 31st. They registered and did that, but that did not come back. Today was the deadline at 5 p.m. for it to be back in my hands. It had to be postmarked on or before the election day to be counted. One thing I'm going to have to really educate people on is if they're going to vote by absentee, that starting that Saturday prior to the election, don't put it in the mailboxes. Don't put it in your mailbox. Don't put it in the boxes in front of post offices. Bring it to the drop box and put it in there. I got a call at 4:45 on Tuesday election night in Trufant. Somebody had dropped off 2 ballots in their box after 3 p.m. And I drove and went and got them. I didn't need to, but I did. And I have since talked to the postmaster in Howard City. And in November, they will be making an effort if there's anything that the carriers pick up or get in drop boxes, they will be bringing them to the Coral Post Office, and they'll contact me and I'll need them to pick those ballots up if that happens to be on the same day. So we can't guarantee that they'll be there to arrive in time. And just a reminder that if you know that you're not going to be around for the November 5th election and you feel the need to make sure you vote, if you can't go and vote early in Stanton, that absentee ballot applications are available. And we'll get that too. So that pretty much sums up elections so far at the moment.
Do you know about how many people we had vote in the last primary? To me, the number just seems so small.
It's actually quite comparable to the last primary. Yeah, I mean we're right about the same amount. Yeah. So
It's about 30%.
about 30%. Give or take 10 or 15. Yeah. We'll see how much.
You're also on the board, which means you have a proclivity towards government.
So we'll see an uptick in voters for November for sure. At least that's the last presidential when we were looking at the numbers for how many ballots needed to be ordered the other day. So, and with the permanent ballot list, the other thing that I need to remind everybody is if you are on the permanent ballot list, and if you go to Florida or Texas or Arizona, if you're a snowbird, that's another thing where I have a separate list of people I have to contact to make sure that we have the correct address
up on the mobile home ordinance, kind of keeping, looked at approval. And then we had discussion on special use consent for Miranda. And we think about all that worked out, and it's both consent forward, so the board can see it go.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, I'd be under new business 75, yeah, put no for that. But, good. Thank you very much. Dave, zoning administrator?
For the month of July at 115 North Lee Street, Fortune Drive, had Jason, what is that, Cedar Lane, a steel shed, at 12113 Stanton Road, the billboard which went through the ZBA, was approved. At 16076 Division Street, a new home, which it went to the zoning board of appeals for the setbacks, and it was approved too. And that's it.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Community center?
We've had one rental from, in August so far, that's it.
That's it?
That is it. Holiday season will be soon upon us, so we'll see what that brings us.
Fireboard, Tim?
Oh, a lot of people have always, first time, they go to the
Yeah, there was a lot of people that hadn't been here.
hadn't been in this, they came aboard, so they came in the same place, they really liked the way it worked. So we did a good job.
Awesome.
Chip?
Okay, fireboard. I actually saw pictures of our tender. I haven't seen it yet, but it's missing one part. And it's due to be delivered at the end of August.
Oh, nice.
The first one, the second one will be the end of September.
Hey, but at least it's dates now. Yeah. Progress. You saw a picture of it, it's not MIA.
Yeah, no, it looks real nice. The part that they're waiting on, it's always been that. It's just been pieces, parts that couldn't get their hands on. So,
You gonna have an unveiling or anything?
I doubt it. I don't think so. You'll see it go through.
I mean, it's gonna be
town.
super cool to see.
Fire barn.
I mean,
Door closed.
They just show up.
we'll see it at the Jubilee, I hope.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well,
Okay, we need a Jubilee for
where's
that?
the first one going?
Station one.
Right, and it won't be to us.
But they come over for it, don't they?
Yeah, that's true, you might see
They
the
bring the
parade.
station
That's a
ones
good point.
over,
It might be
yeah.
in the
Well,
parade.
we'll just have to talk to Mr. Carr and say, hey,
Bring it on up.
It might be in the parade, that's true. We'll have two parades, so. That's true.
Other than that, for June and July, there were 4 total runs in Maple Valley. Nothing of substance. A vehicle fire, 2 CO alarms and 1 witness assist.
thank you.
Yep.
And our cemetery coordinator's not here.
Not much going on. The people in the cemetery are pretty quiet.
Thank goodness.
They make great neighbors sometimes.
And we,
The new Sexton doors were put in.
Oh, yep, I
Oh,
was
yeah,
gonna say,
yeah.
yep, so the new doors on the Sexton shed in Truefit, correct, they're functional, they're locked. So
they look
next,
sharp.
yes, they look very sharp, next is to clean the inside of the shed. There's a lot of
I happened to be
stuff in there.
I happened to be out to the cemetery yesterday, and I started to look at that big drop off that's the other side of it. If we want to use that property, we're going to have to eventually do something with it. We'll have to fill it up. I don't know how many spaces we have left in the cemetery compared to how many we typically sell a year, but we should do the math to figure out how much time we have before we have to fill that
We
in.
have the one, the end that's closest to us. What's that, Truefit Avenue?
Mhm.
So we have that, that's flat, that we can start developing, and then there's the other end that we can start developing. That drop off right there, that's like right behind Sexton Shed, when we talked to Randy, we were talking about leaving part of that for, the extra dirt that he needs for when he is digging, since we don't have any space, and for making it, kinda like where the brush and the leaves and stuff, kinda making it
I was just
pile.
walking around picking up sticks, and I thought, I felt like there was not a
There is and there isn't. We're finding more and more as Julie's been going through, she has found where she's making a list of all the ones that have not had activity on them. She's found a few that are almost 100 years old, but that we're not sure if there's still family around. But there's a whole, we'll have to go to probate for that, so we're waiting so we can do it like in one giant chunk with between Coral and Turfit. Because then you put an ad in the paper and say, hey, here's the list of names, and to see if any living family come forward. And then we can possibly reclaim that, but there's quite a few Turfit she's finding right now that, we may be able to reclaim and that there's nobody buried in them. So that, that may change how.
That hollow may be hard to dig into because they don't brush some stones in there for years to fill up, so there's probably trees they dig laying in there, logs and
I
stuff.
would assume we would have to, if we filled it, we'd have to let it sit a little while before we start putting people in it, so.
And the other thought we had was, if we had to do a lot of fill, is to put a cement slab there and do a calvinarium, which is where
Yeah.
we can sell for remains, since remains are so much more popular.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of cemeteries have done, is when they've had void places like that where you can't really bury because you've had to bring a lot of fill in. So.
Speaking of them, did we not hire Heckman and brush hog all that down for
You
us?
know what, I was just going through that and realized that he hasn't done that,
This
so.
spring we
that
were,
is,
he's going to brush hog that level off and clean it up.
and start cleaning it up, so he has not, and he is on my list of people to call tomorrow, so.
This is the spring we talk about in there, get that brush hog, cause we do a couple times, that what's nice right in the year, so.
The engineer's creeping up on us.
Yep.
Can we have a report from, you got something to say from the Parks and Rec?
I got a hold of Braxton, and he said he'll start installing equipment this week, but he thinks probably late week, like Thursday, Friday.
Cool.
So, we are trying to work on a grant. Which one? Flat River,
Panhandle.
okay.
It's due Friday at 11:30 p.m.
Yes.
So it's a $10,000 grant that we can use towards a specific item, but part of the submission is basically outlining all of the items in our Parks and Rec program. So it's kind of expediting our need to have a bigger program built.
Nice,
So,
nice. Well, thank you for.
I think we're trying to do it for grounds, like what to do with the ground, because when the equipment's in there, what do we do with the dirt at that point? I know we're probably gonna pay for seed, but we get a grant towards that.
Towards any of it.
Correct, any of it, you know,
Seed, mulch,
seed, mulch, something, yeah.
There's quite a puddle there after that 2 inches of rain we had.
I'm actually glad, because it really showed, okay, this is gonna be a problem area, but also showed, I mean, it compacted it down
Yep.
and
Well, I'll sit right there on one
I'd rather
side,
do
right
that
in front of us.
before the equipment and some of it got washed away a little, so I'm glad we got that hard there.
Kinda need to make it.
Yep, right down in the middle where that building was down, where the slope's down there.
Yep.
That's where there's quite a puddle down there.
Some other minor updates, so we've gone through the old charter for the previous Parks and Rec Committee. That's about 2/3 of the way updated and revised, so we should have that for the next meeting for board review and approval. And then just kind of going through inventory on like what's included and excluded in that. And then I think probably with the grant process, hoping to have maybe something close to a 5-year plan to present at that time as well.
Nice.
Great. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Well, kids, you did already, by a couple of times, it's quite busy up there. This one is Tuesday, we've always a lot of kids in the park, so they're getting used to it.
Both parks are getting used, they're
Yep.
a lot more busy than I think people realize.
Yep, seems good to see kids up there playing for change.
Thank you. Very good. Obviously, we already have an equipment installation update. Let's do, planning commission. I have 2 names for the planning commission. I'll give you both. One is, Trish graduate with?
Community development and public
Yeah,
administration.
so I mean, that's just amazing to have someone with that education, working on our planning commission and in our parks. So I think I need to have an approval of those.
I'll make a motion to accept the, appointment of Meg Ruth and Tricia Wells to the planning commission.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any more questions? I think they'll be a great addition.
Hi.
Yeah, she's here. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And since you spearheaded the trash cans for the park, you want to present that?
We have one at Trufant right now. Is that one still going?
Yeah.
Going strong?
I've been emptying it, putting it in.
And the ones that has the red, yellow, and green, this sheet right here, that's in the new packet, is just like the one that we have up there. It's got a push lid on it, so,
Keep the raccoons out.
well, that and keep all the garbage from floating out and water to get in. The other one was just kind of a different style. I kind of like this one better because it's got the push doors on it.
Oh, no, it's open to the rain get in here.
Yeah, rain and critters and things of that nature, but, I mean, do you think, Melissa, do you see that we would need one for another one for Trufant? For Peterson Park, would you like another one there? Or-
I think it works, I mean, one has been great,
Okay,
you know.
Well, as things are finished, if you feel you need more,
Yeah,
obviously,
that's
bring
true.
it to the
I feel
board.
like, right now I'm using in the park, but they do bring their own trash cans.
okay.
But all three trash cans that were there, one of ours and two of theirs were utilized.
Okay, well, that's great.
You know,
And that's, I just wanted to show you guys that the one just similar to that, they're $281.95. So they do have other colors. I mean, there's black, brown,
So are we
orange,
looking
yellows,
to
and-
get one for Coral? Park?
I'm
Is
thinking
that
we
what
should
you're-
probably get one for Coral Park, because what we have right there now is, it's an open top one, and it's just getting full of water,
Yep.
and then the garbage is flying out.
Yeah, yeah, I would make a motion to get one for Coral Park.
What color do you use?
I'd like yellow, because it catches somebody's eye when they take a moment to look around for a trash can, that yellow pops out. But we can take whatever color anybody would like.
Can you get one?
All right, then my motion is for the yellow.
I will second that motion.
Is there any more discussion?
And how many do we want to get, just one? Do you want to get
I feel one would be adequate
for right now?
for right now. And if we're finding that it's full more often than not, then maybe we should look at getting a second one, but,
I'll believe it.
correct?
I took it out of the remainder of the article.
Yeah,
That's a great idea, so we can try to get that down.
So the motion is to get the one yellow trash can utilizing other funds for Coral Park.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, move forward on that. Thank you for looking into that. Just as an announcement, we have a person that's going to no longer be on the board of review, decided he didn't want to do it anymore. So if anybody wants to be on the board of review, please send an email to us, one of us. I'll be there. We have the Montcalm, this is just another announcement, Montcalm MTA meeting coming up. If you want to be on it,
You wanna go, I just need to know if you're going to attend by Thursday at 2 p.m.
For this meeting.
That one's at McKenna's
that's in Lakeview.
in the
Oh,
Yeah, you might want to go to that one.
They're gonna have, Chris Kuhn from come register for this. So she's gonna talk about some of the programs that the register of deeds offers. So,
You talked about the NTO regional meetings. You didn't bring your flyer?
I didn't bring my flyer, I thought I did. Then the next one is the MTA regional meetings, the closest one is Wellington. That in September, and the 125 is the early bird rate to attend. This is right, because if not, if we don't do it now, the early bird rate moves goes away 2 weeks prior to the event. So that's why I just wanted to say that everybody, if they wanted to attend, to make sure that.
In Ludington?
Ludington is the closest one, and then
What's the date?
25th, I believe. Is the one in Ludington, yes. And that is, it's from 8:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon.
And that's within our, what we cover for education?
That is correct.
Okay, so if anybody's interested?
Ludington isn't so far to drive, so it would be no problem. But I just wanted to let everybody know, to remind you, the early bird special was up, probably before Labor Day. So, that's it.
Tim said you'd be there. Okay, you talked to the Chamber of Commerce.
The chamber emailed and asked for permission to utilize Peterson Park for the Jubilee, so we just need to make a motion.
Motion was moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's a great thing that they do. Motion carries. And we have a special use permit that came to us from the planning commission. Does everybody have a piece of that?
The minutes and application, and the minutes state that they approved it as it was.
So, what's your pleasure with this?
To amend special use permit.
I'll second that motion. Approve it.
So we have a motion, we have a second, is there any discussion at all? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Motion is carried. And that's it for the regular meeting. Any public comment at the end of the meeting? Yes, Penny?
Cato has the same attorney we do, Leslie, and they currently have a meeting tonight with Leslie and with their PC in regards to Leslie giving the board and the PC advice on special use permits that are going to start rolling in November for wind and solar. I was wondering if our board would consider taking a vote and seeing if you could get Leslie to come in with the board and the PC to help educate the PC on what's going to come to them, because they're gonna start rolling in November. There's not going to be no stopping it, and it's not fair to the PC to be blindsided, especially with being new. And I would like to request that you guys got with Leslie, talk to her and see if you could get something with the PC and the board in the same meeting like Lakeview is doing today.
We've already talked to Leslie, and I shouldn't say we haven't, but there's been communication with Leslie, seems how Andy and I are the ones that talk to her.
So we're making arrangements.
Yeah, we're making arrangements. It's not necessarily the same as what Cato's doing though, right?
I haven't heard back from her. So
Yeah,
yes, so-
we got some other ideas, hopefully, that we can, so Pearson, yeah, we won't talk about that.
Well, are you gonna include the PC in with that
Oh, yeah.
meeting with
Oh, yeah,
Leslie?
they'll-
Well,
They'll know what's going on. Yep,
it's a legitimate question.
yep. Any more comments? Steve?
Yeah, Stephen Polson. I'd like his next meeting, if you could include a report on the forensic audit, if it's completed, ongoing,
Okay.
and how much that's cost.
Thank you. Ann?
Ann Scobie Peterson, Maple Valley Township. I thought you agreed to buy a speaker system. Or,
We did, but we are purchasing Robin's. She was gonna bring it tonight, but she is very sick today. So hopefully we will have it before the next meeting.
okay, I just wanted to make sure it
Yeah.
was still,
Yep, she was fully intending on bringing it tonight, but she is not feeling well at all.
okay. Y'all are pretty quiet.
Sorry. Any more comments? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got a couple of things. Gordon Bassett, Maple Valley Township. First of the month, the clerk had a book meeting in our community center on a Sunday. Was the rent paid? Was it for the community? What was going on there?
What was that? There was a meeting. for
I like a book meeting the clerk had.
The elections.
The election.
You mean in the office?
Yes. Was it in the office?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's move right on to the second one. Also, the clerk questioned my wife about a lawsuit that my wife had nothing to do with. I was the only one on this lawsuit, and apparently there's a bill that's been given to our township here, and it's not even been brought to our board, and it's not decided whether. I don't know who's deciding whether to pay this or not, our board or someone on the board.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have not decided to pay it. It is currently with our current attorney. She is reviewing everything that was sent to us to see if it's a legitimate bill or if it needs to be sent back to that attorney, because it did have to do litigation with the Ferguson Drive. So she has it because we questioned whether or not it was something that we didn't feel that we should pay, but we wanted to make sure.
Well, it's been over a year since I paid my final bill, and it's
Absolutely,
like,
and we just literally, the middle of July was when it was sent to this office, and the stuff was dated 2 years ago. So that's why I questioned the legitimacy of it and whether or not we needed to, so that's why we sent all the information to our attorney to ask her about that, so she was going to contact.
well, I just think the people ought to know what our township was up to when they weren't should have been never on the case.
And that's what I told her as well, and I told her I could provide her the minutes for that discussion, because that's what I asked Penny about was, because I didn't, she would remember when that was. And our attorney has that, and she is looking at that because it's from Rhodes McKay. I don't know that, and there was nothing in our minutes that the previous board ever discussed having an engagement with them. So, how much was the bill? Almost $1,100.
So we just want to verify it first.
All right, thank you.
Before we authorize it, because we want to make sure that we're not paying something that we should not be paying.
Thank you. Any more comments? Okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Second?